Welcome to Around the Gridiron. It's me and Josh Keatley. We are back again. Don't know what episode this is, so I won't throw a number on it. But we are here for the second. We're here for the second week in a row. We are back. The off season is over. Jumping in a little late, but we're here to pick up from, our week 5 predictions. Talk about week 6, and then kind of just go from there. So, Josh, how have you been since the last time we chatted?
Dude, up and down, bro. Up and down. I had a really good college betting day. Fantastic. Obviously Ohio State won. Really bad NFL betting day. We just went over that before the show. It was pathetic, and then the Browns lost in pretty pathetic fashion. So, but I did move. I moved.
Yeah.
New domicile.
It looks nice.
And then in my move, I found this from our last episode.
Oh, Chris Perry.
Let's see. That's it, Chris.
Shout out to Chris Perry, Michigan great.
I moved that. That's right. Yeah, we were talking about last week, right?
Yeah, it was.
That's when we brought up.
Also, shout out to Mike Hart. Hope he's having a good recovery. And sorry about anything bad we said about you last week. I think it was all Josh.
It was mostly.
He lives at 432 Springbrook Court. No, I don't. Yeah. So, all right, we'll get into your losses on the money wise, but.
Oh, dick.
Just looking at wins and losses, though, you were 10-6 last week. You had some good ones. You had some good picks. So
I feel like that's not good, though. If you're just picking winners, you should be. If you're just picking who's going to win the game in the NFL, well, I don't know.
I mean, there were some upsets. Giants-Packers was an upset.
Yes. Yeah, because that was a big one, too, because that was one of the bigger spreads on the board at 8.
Yeah, so if I go back and look, so that was an upset for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see who else was one that you probably thought you had and didn't get it.
Well, the Dolphins was an upset too.
Jets.
The Dolphins were favored by 3.5, and they lost the Jets outright.
Jags.
The Buccaneers were favored by 10.5. Well, no, because they won. They just lost. They just didn't beat the spread.
No, but I think Jags. I think you had Jags over Texans. They lost.
Yep, and the Jags were favored for sure. It's an upset. Yeah.
So Jets pulled the upset. That was huge. Cowboys over the Rams.
I don't remember who was favored in that game. So I might have taken the underdog on that one.
And then Bengals Ravens. You might have tried to go with the local Ohio team there.
I definitely went with the Bengals. I don't remember who was the underdog as far as the betting goes, but yeah.
It's tough. I mean, I kind of want to, the betting sucks because when we'll have some bets later here when you're trying to play the spread, which is why I don't like to play the spread. But for this show and for these people, we will do that. We will give you 4 locks. We will play the spread later here. But I think looking through these games, man, I want to talk about a couple of them. Giants-Packers, I mean, that's an upset, but I think that's one of those ones where it just, at the end of the season, Green Bay is going to be in the playoffs and New York won't be, and we'll forget that they lost this game, and all the Giants fans will be like, they'll do that stupid thing I hate that fans do, like say Green Bay goes to the Super Bowl and loses.
They're going to take pride in it.
Yeah, the Giants will be like, oh, we beat the Super Bowl runner-ups, or like whatever. It's like, okay, sure.
There's a lot to be excited about, though. That team, I mean, I agree with you, but they're a team where, if they get an early round draft pick, top 10 pick or something happens, the season collapses. I mean, Saquon Barkley, when healthy, has proven to be the dude. That is a dude that can win you games. Daniel Jones isn't bad.
They need a couple weapons outside of Barkley.
For sure.
They've sold out at wide receiver, but nobody has hit yet. And I don't know what's going on with them and Kadarius Toney, but they've just been healthy scratching him week after week.
I think I can't remember. I'll have to go back to look at my draft notes, but I remember when Kadarius Toney got drafted, I was not super sold on him. Obviously, I didn't think he'd be a failure, right? I mean, because right now, like you said, a healthy scratch is the exact opposite. But yeah, there's definitely some issues. The offensive line looks better. There's definitely places where they need to improve. So, like you said, I don't think they're going to go to the playoffs or anything, but there is a spark to be excited about. I think that the Jets, the other New York team, are even a better position. I mean, you got high assets in Zach Wilson. Breece Hall looks like a goddamn stud. Garrett Wilson. Elijah Moore. I mean,
I like Michael Carter. Michael Carter behind Breece Hall. I like that too.
Yeah, and then that's Mekhi Becton's hurt. I mean,
yep.
This is the second season being in a row hurt, so we should probably take that into account. But that's still a very high ceiling. There's a lot to like.
And then on the defense, you had Sauce Gardner. You've got you got the big man in the middle there from Alabama, Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, there's a lot to like.
And then there's another guy there who's pretty good. I forget. Is it Mosley? I think Mosley.
DJ Mosley? Yeah, he's still there. He's getting a little long in the tooth, but
yeah. So they're both looking up. I think, the future's bright for now. Things can change. When I think about Kadarius Toney, he reminds me of a guy that also went to Florida with some questionable, and I don't know, right, but alleged off the field things, Antonio Callaway. And I use that.
Callaway. Toney is better than Callaway.
But I use that to pivot to the Browns, who should probably be 5-0.
They should be they should definitely be 4-1 for sure. Man, it's crazy. It's I don't know. It's like Stefanski does this thing. I think he's a good coach. I don't want the Browns to fire him. I know there's a lot of people chit-chatting about that. He's a good coach. I like Stefanski. Didn't like when they hired him. Did not like when they hired him, but he's won me over.
Just doesn't feel like a winning coach's name. I mean, Stefanski. Like I don't. Just doesn't roll off the tongue, like when you talk about the great, when you're like, oh, Parcells, Andy Reid, Vermeil, like the names are a little shorter, you don't get a Stefanski, and I think that's his downfall, right? Dable's short, McDermott, short enough.
Dude, you just broke it down perfectly.
Eberflus, Stefanski. It starts to get a little too long, man, and I think that's a losing coach's name right there. But go ahead.
Schnellenberger was a god.
That's true. That's a rare one. That's rare one.
College, though. Are we counting that? I don't know. College is different.
Maybe. Sean Payton, short and to the point. Sean McVay, also to the point. Shanahan, starting to get a little longer, starting to get a little dicey.
You nailed it. Well, Harbaugh's kind of long. That guy won a Super Bowl. Both
Harbaugh, yeah, but he's only won one. And every now and then people want to fire him.
Both brothers?
No, didn't the other brother lose? The lights cut out. Right. Lights cut out, and the Ravens came back.
Doesn't have one. He doesn't have a win.
Mike Tomlin, Bill Cowher. Just once you start to add all these, and now look, being from Chicago and having many friends of Eastern European descent with ski on their last name. No disrespect to them, but the name's just too long to be a winning coach. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them, No,
dude, you nailed it, bro. That's the issue. That's probably why the football gods have come down. Some things they're unexplainable, but you found a way to explain.
They're like, a guy with a name this long, his quarterback is going to throw an interception at the end of the game. And once his running back scores the touchdown to give him a 17-point lead, his defense is going to give up those points, and they're going to lose to Joe Flacco. So
some things you're just not meant to be good at.
Yeah, it just
go get it. You should just go get a job as an accountant,
something, or a coordinator. But so do things turn around? Oh my gosh, do things turn around there when the nasty guy comes back? The massage boy, is he going to fix
the massage boy? I don't think so. Everybody's expecting. It's so weird. The Deshaun Watson infatuation is so strange to me because we're talking about a dude who doesn't play football in like 3 years.
So last time you saw me was good, It's kind of like the Donald Trump effect. Like before he was president, the last time everybody saw him, he was like on TV, fucking kicking ass and taking names, So like last time people saw Deshaun Watson, he was awesome,
But his team was 2-14.
Yeah, but somehow he got to skate on that, just like he got to skate on all these sexual assault charges.
Dude, and he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good, right? He's clearly better than Baker, right? But I don't know why they're anticipating him coming in and then being a Super Bowl team. That to me is not going to happen. I don't. When's
the last time the Browns even went to a Super Bowl to be talking about Super Bowl?
They've never been to a Super Bowl.
Gosh,
they won 9 championships though before it was a Super Bowl.
They've never been to a Super Bowl. That just hurts, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Well, when they moved out of Cleveland, though, the Ravens was the Super Bowl. And technically, that was.
That's what we're doing. Oh yeah, that was technically the Cleveland Ravens that won that Super Bowl in 2001.
I think only one dude on the roster was with the Browns. But one would make the assumption that, when Ozzie Newsome was moved over, you could envision Ray Lewis, Jonathan Ogden, those guys being drafted by Cleveland. And technically, you know what I mean?
Hey, look, if that's
I
what we
mean, when
want to
when the
do, I'll
Baltimore
give it to
Colts
you.
moved to Indianapolis, you know what I mean? Technically.
I'll give it to you.
I mean, you don't give it to me because it doesn't count because the Browns came back and the Browns hate the Ravens. So, don't give it to me. I'm just saying, in the 90s, before they moved, this was a good team. In the late 80s, this was a good franchise.
Yeah, before that referee threw the flag into that guy's eye, they were a really good team.
Orlando Brown. His son plays for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, he's trying to get out of there. I thought he wanted a long-term deal. All right, let's get back to the games. Because next thing you know, this thing will be 2 hours again. Patriots blanked the Lions 29-0. All right, here's how I feel about Dan Campbell, and I'll let you go. Great guy, great coach, brought around a lot of good players. He's a culture guy. I think 100% he's a culture guy. But how I feel about culture guys, and I kind of feel this way about Matt Eberflus, and you can say this in college football too. They're the guy you bring in when your program is in the shitter, right? Like if it's college, you just got a bunch of violations, blah, 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 blah. So you bring in this guy who's going to change the culture, but he's not going to win, right? Whoever's going to win with the Lions will be the next coach. Campbell is here to fix Campbell's here to fix all of the mistakes of Matt Patricia, to change the locker room, to create a winning atmosphere, for these guys to play with grit, or in Chicago to hustle and not loaf and all this shit. And then somebody's going to come in who actually can scheme and game plan, and they're going to win a lot of games. But it's not going to be with Dan Campbell. Like he's just, I don't think he's that guy.
I don't think he's the problem.
What's the problem?
I think it
0
was
points.
Aaron Glenn, right?
It's Aaron Glenn. That's why they scored 0 points.
Well, they don't. But they were the number one offense in the NFL before last week.
So what happened?
Well, I don't know, but that's a one-off, right? Right. But consistently, every single game, the defense has been ass, right? Every single game.
Defense is bad, but you knew that.
Not just bad.
You knew and again, I love TV. Like the next person, you knew the defense was going to suck when they started hyping up that kid on Hard Knocks who was like a fucking 6th-round pick or whatever his name was. The linebacker from Oklahoma State, Malcolm Rodriguez.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Rodrigo. I think he might have even been undrafted. I'm not going to search because, again, I'm trying to keep us on track here.
He was drafted.
Okay, but late, very, very late. And when that's the guy that's setting the tone for your defense, and that's the guy that's the impact player on your defense is crap. No knock to Malcolm Rodriguez. I love you. I think you're a great guy. But
no, I would
that's
agree
not
with
a winning team.
That's not a winning team. But if you look at the offense is designed to rebuild, right? They threw away a bunch of draft picks to get Jared Goff, who they don't really want, who's actually played really well. Okay. The Amon-Ra St. Brown was not no one thought he was going to be a number one wide receiver, and he is. Who's Chris Reynolds is a guy that's pretty much a nobody, has been very effective. DeAndre Swift, when he's healthy, remember he hasn't been played the last 2 weeks. When he's healthy, he's arguably the best back in the NFL. Jamal Williams is a very solid back, right? But none of those are high assets. The defensive side though have Aiden Hutchinson, who was the number 2 pick or whatever, the number 1 pick or whatever. Jeffrey Okudah was like the number 5 pick. AJ Awarie, or whatever his name is, the other cornerback was a 2nd-round pick. I mean, there's some legit assets on that defensive side of the ball, and they have gotten worse since Dan Campbell has arrived. Is it Dan Campbell's fault? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not enamored with the guy.
I don't know.
I
like him a lot.
I have no idea. I don't even remember.
I think Dan Campbell's the kind of guy I think he's the kind of guy you go to war with, but he ain't the general. You know what I mean? Like, you would love to be in the trench. You'd love to be in the trench fighting with him, but like you hope he's not setting up the war plan, because you're gonna die in a blaze of glory, but you will die fighting with Dan Campbell.
Where was he at? Do you remember? Was he
Miami?
I know he was in Miami, but he wasn't in Miami forever.
He
was at the Saints. He was with the
Yeah.
Saints
Sean Payton helped him out.
in 26. That's what I thought. I was like, I thought because with Miami, he was the interim head coach. Then they didn't give him the job, and then he kind of moved on. I was like, all right, well, if you're
They
not going
gave
to
it
give
to
me
the
the job,
guy
I'll
that
move on.
sued the NFL, Flores.
Flores, yeah.
Yeah, for winning too much when they wanted to be tanking.
But he didn't win a whole.
Yeah, he won
that,
like 9
that
or
whole
10
that
games.
whole thing. That whole story was soon as I thought it was iffy, and then Hugh Jackson jumped on the bus, and I was like, okay, that's
well, Hugh, yeah, dude. All right, we'll go down a rabbit hole with that, but Hugh totally
there's a
discredited
lot
that
of
whole thing.
yeah, he did.
I think it was just one of those things where, like, to me, Brian Flores, I think he's a great coach. I think he was doing great stuff there. He feels a little bit like a Boy Scout, and Miami was trying to do some shit that sounded a little shady, and he very much let his integrity, get in the way. You know, Brian Flores is? Brian Flores is in the cop movie. He's the cop that does everything by the book, and he finds out his partners are dirty, and he's like, I'm going to go tell the captain. When he turns his back, they shoot him in the head. That's Brian Flores. So
I don't know what this. First of all, I love The Departed. Second of all, I don't. Even if that was the case, I would have fired him. He was not a good head coach. Great defensive coordinator. That defense was great, but he could not find an offensive identity. And everybody keeps saying, all of his defenders keep saying, "Oh, well, he needs to get an offensive coordinator. He needs to get an offensive coordinator." That's not his job.
yeah,
That is your job. If you can't identify, could you imagine? If look at Nick Saban.
it's hard. I think
That's
it's
one of the
hard
reasons
to
why Nick
find
Saban
offensive
to
coordinators, though.
identify. People do it. That's how you win. Look at Bill Belichick. That's how you win games. He's always got coordinators that go on to have head coaching jobs. They're very competent. That is part of his job. Is he the worst head coach ever? No. But I would fire him. I would have fired him 1,000%. Nothing about that situation was to me was off. Even if the owner did say, "Hey, go lose a bunch of games on purpose," and you did the exact opposite, you still sucked. So you're telling me you tried to win games and you still were that bad?
No, he was trying to lose games, and
the Dolphins are already
winning them.
better now than they were with him. They're already better now.
I also think that team is a lot better offensively, right? Like, I think it's two-part. I think he built that defense as something where Mike McDaniel doesn't have to worry much about it, and I think it's much easier
That's fair.
to find. I think in today's NFL, it's much easier to find a defensive coordinator than it is to find a good offensive coordinator.
I don't know. Possibly. I don't know. What I do think is that, yes, that defense probably was set up for Mike McDaniel. Okay, the offense is better under Mike McDaniel.
Well, yeah, you bring in Tyreek and Raheem Mostert and
well, whoa. See, that's where people start to go off the rails, though. They start naming people that sucked. And then they're like, look, we got Raheem Mostert. Well, no, Raheem Mostert.
But Raheem Mostert is Mike McDaniels' boy who knows the scheme and he can come in right away.
For sure.
Dude, who were the running backs before, though? Like the two guys out of fucking Washington that sucked because I was trying to stream them in fantasy, like Savion, whatever. And yeah,
Myles
dude, the running backs last year were garbage.
Myles Gaskins still there.
He's garbage still.
And he didn't play that bad. He took carries from was it Chase Edmonds last week?
Savion, whoever was also there, dude. That team sucked. And Mike Mitchell brought in Raheem Mostert, and they got a lot better. Tua, I don't know that Tua is better, but like anything, right? You give Tua Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle and all these guys to throw to, he looks a lot better. You give him Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and it looks a lot better. Well, I think
he also just credit for doing that, right? Those guys want to play in that offense.
I think McDaniel. I don't know that people didn't want to play. Yeah, probably. I think Tyreek was going whoever was going to write him the biggest check, and it wasn't going to be Kansas City. That Miami offense in general, right? If the plan was to bring in Tom Brady, then it's clear, right? Like Flores wasn't wrong to say Tua is not the guy. But I think, like I said, like once it blew up, you got to realize your owner wants to do something. You might have all this integrity in the world. Either you're going to do what your owner's telling you to do, or you're going to get fired. Now, whether that's right or wrong, I'm not here to say, but I do think, it's pretty interesting how a lot of that stuff is kind of faded to the wayside, and he's ended up on NFL rosters, and the NFL's kind of put all this to rest. But and Miami got whatever slap on the wrist they got. But again, I just think
I
he's the
don't think there
guy.
was any fire to the smoke, man.
What'd you say?
I just don't know if there was any fire to the smoke. Because the thing is
I think
too.
so. I think there
What
was. Otherwise, why does the Dolphins owner
what do
get
you think?
what?
Do
They
you think
lost
that
their
the
draft
owner?
picks.
So you think that the owner told him to lose games and he didn't?
Why'd they lose their draft pick if there's not something there?
To appease people? I don't know. I mean,
No
I'm
way. No
well, I
way.
guess that's my question.
If you're
What do
innocent,
you
you're
think
not giving
happened?
up your draft. If you're innocent, you're not giving up your draft pick. I'll tell you that.
You do if you want everybody to shut up and go away.
Ah,
If you got tired of killing, you just want to move on with a fresh start, right?
dude, I
What
mean
do you think he did?
that team's still rebuilding. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they won
I
9 or 10 games while Flores was there, but they're nowhere in a spot to say, okay, I'll give up draft picks just
well,
to
what do
make
you
this
think
stuff
he
go
did?
away.
What do you think that they did then?
I think he
Once
tried to
the fire,
tamper and set up that meeting with Tom
it was on
Brady.
purpose.
I think he tried to set up that meeting with Tom Brady on the boat and have Flores come and get the band back together and be like, "Hey, remember when you were in New England with this guy?"
Okay.
And I don't know that he told him to lose on purpose, but I do think maybe he said, because God, I hate this now, right? With all these fucking analytics people. And I watched a lady say it today on ESPN. Maybe the owner doesn't say lose on purpose, but maybe he says something like, "Hey, we don't have a shot at winning the AFC East. We don't have a shot at going, on a playoff run. It's okay if we lose a few games because we'll have a better draft pick, and let's try to accumulate draft capital so that we can go forward." Now, that's me putting it
Okay.
nicely and very politically correct. But at the core of that, that's saying, "Hey, let's tank a little bit, right? Let's lose a little bit because the future ain't that bright with what we got right now, right?" And whether it was that smooth or whether it was, "Hey, motherfucker, go out here and lose these games and I'll give you an extra 20 grand," which is what Flores said it was, I don't know. But if it wasn't something bad and it was me, I'd fight like hell to keep my draft pick because why would you give it up if you're innocent?
Yeah, you're right. He probably was tampering or something. There was the tampering thing. I guess I just don't envision those things as that bad.
Well, I mean,
You can't throw an NFL game, but at the same time,
I don't even. Yeah,
I
but
almost with
again,
the
like,
NFL, I almost have the attitude, go ahead and try it, because drafting one guy
I don't
ain't
even know
gonna.
if it's.
I would almost welcome it.
I don't
Go
even
ahead,
know
go
if
for
it's
it, try it.
throwing the games though, right? Like, like when the 76ers in basketball were tanking, like I don't think they were going out there purposely trying to lose, but they were just putting a roster together that wasn't an NFL caliber roster. And honestly, and I'm
It,
going to pivot us here, I feel that way about the Bears right now. I feel like the Bears are not putting an NFL quality roster out on the field, and they're
on purpose.
winning. Well, not yes, fairly on somewhat on purpose, and they're winning because they're building a culture there, right? It's early though; it's 5 games, but they're winning and they're staying close in these games. But you look down the road 3 years from now, right? I bet you most of these guys won't be in the NFL that are on the roster today. And I'm not talking about the old guys.
Of
I'm talking about some of the
course.
guys right now that are 22, 23 years old, will not be on a team, will not be on a practice squad. They will be
But you're
somewhere up in
describing.
Canada. They'll be somewhere
But
up
you're
in
describing
Canada.
rebuilding. That's every rebuilding team, though. What I
Exactly.
don't. I guess what's the difference between rebuilding and losing on purpose? That's my
And I
question.
think and I
Because
think
those sound
Miami and I
pretty
think
much.
Miami wanted to rebuild, and Brian Flores was like, "I'm a first-time head coach. We're not rebuilding on my reputation," right? Because that's also what that comes down to, right? Like, you gotta. I mean, the race thing, I'll even just set aside, but like, you're a first-time coach. You're not really trying to
But
start
isn't that
off
how?
out the gate losing.
When's the last time a first-time head coach wasn't forced to rebuild? If you weren't rebuilding, then who would? I mean, Sean Payton, when he left voluntarily. I
Some
don't know.
guys
Does that
don't.
make sense?
I think some guys get decent gigs where they're not rebuilding a full roster. But I do think
Think
like
one, maybe Josh McDaniels, the Raiders.
I think
But even that,
I
I mean,
think he was finding a way. I think he was finding a way to scrape out some wins with a team that probably was not good. It's the same way I feel about I keep coming back to the Bears. It's the same way I feel about the Bears. Everybody's excited about the Bears winning these games, and I see the mock draft, they're going to pick 18th. This team does not need to win enough games to be picking in the middle of the first round. They need to be picking in the first 10 picks of the NFL draft for probably the next 3 or 4 years, right? Like this is not a
I don't know.
hey,
It's true.
let's keep winning 7 or 8 games. Oh my God, this team sucks. Let's not keep winning 7 or 8 games so that we pick middle of the pack because it's not going to help the team, right? Like
In today's NFL, I don't think it matters. So you don't want to be that way because you'd be in quarterback purgatory, right? So there was a point, maybe not with the Browns, but like the Vikings, right? Where like when if you keep winning just enough, or the Bears when they had Rex Grossman, right? That guy wasn't the dude. But if you have your quarterback and you're winning 7 to 8 games, you can get building blocks around him. And then second of all, free agency and the way the world works now, I mean, it's pretty much proven that if you look at the Broncos, right? They went out and got Russell Wilson. Now, has that paid off? I don't know. I'm just saying you can still make moves to go get your guy. Or look at the Browns getting Deshaun Watson,
dude,
right?
look at the Bears. Look at the Bears and tell me who the blocks are for the future. Dante Pettis,
I didn't
N'Keal Harry.
I think that they suck.
Smith Marset.
I think that they suck.
Like even if Justin Fields is the guy, right, and say he's your guy and he is your quarterback of the future, is Cole Kmet the tight end of the future? Probably not.
God, yeah. What? Cole Kmet's great.
Hasn't shown it yet in this offense.
I don't. If they win enough games, first of all, you think the Bears are better than me because I'm picking the Commanders on Thursday. By the way,
but hold on, we'll get into that. But let's stick with the Bears. Let's stick with the Bears and Mooney. Right? Say Mooney is your guy. Okay, Mooney stays. You still and Kmet's the guy. That's 2. You probably
but if you're drafting 18th overall,
you probably still need 2 more guys. 2 more guys minimum to put around them to get those guys open because we're seeing this year without somebody around Mooney like Allen Robinson to pull attention, he doesn't get open the way he used to. And Cole Kmet, I don't know what's going on. We'll call it the scheme. These guys need other guys around them to help them out. And you're not going to find that top wide receiver picking 18 through 20. Not in today's NFL. Not in today's
Who are the best wide receivers in the NFL? Devontae Adams, right?
Okay.
Second round pick. Cooper Kupp. What's he, a third round pick? Second round pick?
All right.
Okay, Jamar Chase, the first round pick. I got my little list here of the all pros or the Pro Bowlers. Tyreek Hill, he was like a 4th rounder.
Yeah, but that's behavior more
and then
so.
Deebo Samuel's the second rounder. So at the top 5.
It's Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson wasn't a first rounder either, was he?
I think he was a first round pick.
I thought he was a second rounder.
Really?
No, you're right. He's a first rounder. So let's say and then you got Mike Evans is a first rounder. Stephon Diggs wasn't a first rounder. Stephon Diggs was a third rounder.
5th round, I think. What was AJ Brown?
Second rounder.
What was CeeDee Lamb?
First rounder.
What was DK Metcalf?
Second rounder. DeAndre Hopkins was a first rounder.
What was Devontae Smith? Devontae Smith?
He was a first rounder.
Mike Williams?
First rounder. Keenan Allen was a second rounder.
Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper was a first rounder. Terry McLaurin was a third rounder. DJ Moore was a first rounder. Brandon Cooks was a first rounder.
So you got to find these guys in the first or the second round. Let's put it first or second round.
I don't know if that's true. Whatever. Okay, either way, even if you're picking at 18, you could find a fucking dude.
Ravens haven't. New England hasn't.
That's fair. They don't draft them. The Ravens, you're right, because they've drafted multiple and not one has hit. Marquise Brown and Rashad Bateman. Of course, I think
New England missed on N'Keal Perry. N'Keal Harry. Gosh, if we go all the way back, they missed on Chad Jackson.
What was their third rounder? Taylor. I mean, if you're going second,
they took Chad Jackson first round. Like New England's missed on wide receivers. Yeah, Chad Jackson was a first round pick.
No way, dude. From Florida?
Yeah.
Let's look that up. There's no
looking it up right now.
Second rounder, 2006.
Second round. Damn it.
No way. I was like, Chad Jackson? Bro, that's like in that second tier of Florida wide receivers right next to Who was the guy with the Texans?
But hold on, that's my point. You're saying I'll come back on this. You're saying, oh, you can just find a guy in the second round. New England's missed on him. Chad Jackson, Aaron Dobson. That was another miss. They took him in the second round. It's just like
you can miss on guys, but they're also there.
Bethel Johnson. They took him in the second round. That's another miss.
But you can miss some guys in the first round too. Kevin White.
Yeah. I'm saying New England. Like, I'm looking at New England. I'm looking at these teams that pick late, and I'm just like, so many guys. So many teams are picking that middle of the pack, and they're not hitting on these guys. Like, it just
for sure. I think that you were right in the fact that the further you go down, the harder it is to find that piece. For sure. I agree with that. It's a lot easier to find that piece if you're drafted in the top 5 than it is if you draft in the top 20. 100%.
I mean, the only team I would say that consistently does it is Pittsburgh. Like, Pittsburgh somehow always finds wide receivers.
Well, George Pickens fell into the lap because George Pickens has off-field issues.
But, I mean, yes. But it's Antonio Brown, off-field issues. But Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Wallace.
Brown also, I don't remember Antonio Brown being extremely productive at Central Michigan. I think he was like the second leading receiver, and then he left early.
And he had issues. Because he ended up at Central Michigan because of issues. But I'm like, you look at those guys that they keep finding.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy that's out of the league now? The Clemson, Martavis Bryant.
Like Mike Wallace was a second or third round pick.
Wallace.
Emmanuel Sanders was drafted by, Emmanuel Sanders was drafted by Pittsburgh in the second.
They find these guys.
Those guys
basically, if
Pittsburgh, for sure, it's awesome.
Yeah, if you're picking
a lot of bust.
Yeah, they miss on other players. They've missed on offensive line a lot lately. But
I just meant the wide receiver position.
Yeah. But it's just, again, I look at that as we come off the track as we have, and you come back to Brian Flores and that whole thing, you probably just couldn't win with what he was doing to the level of, like, you're actually going to win something. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the old Andy Reid before he got to the Super Bowl, where it was like he kept making the playoffs, but, like, you knew they were going to get bounced, in Philly, because it's just like you guys are going, but you're not going to win.
I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree entirely, but I agree with you 100%. But the part I disagree with is that at no point ever did the offenses that he put on the field look like they had an identity, right? Even if you're looking at, I don't know, the Jaguars last year under Urban Meyer, they at least had an identity. It was stupid, very, very dumb identity, but at least you knew what their plan was. Brian Flores and his offense was not his fault.
All right, when did he get there? 2019?
He was there for 3 years.
Who were his coordinators? Chad O'Shea. I don't know who that is.
He was the wide receivers coach for the Browns, I think, right after the.
Then he brought in Chan Gailey, so he went old school.
Yes,
they went 10-6. Then he split it between two. Oh, because Chan Gailey retired. Right, that's what happened. He brought in Chan Gailey, and then Chan Gailey's like, I'm too old for this shit. I'm out of here. I think that's what happened.
For sure, Chan Gailey's like 90.
But I'll say this. And I don't know Brian Flores. It's about relationships and coaching. I think it's about relationships and coaching, and I think maybe one of the things you can say is you just probably didn't know anybody. I mean, if you're going and pulling Chan Gailey, dude, like, and you don't have any young cats you can bring with you from New, and again, it's hard because he was in New England. You don't have anybody you can call and bring over. I mean, these names of these guys that I don't know who these guys are.
Those New England coaches never seem to do well. Once they leave the umbrella of Belichick, everything, and they have to take. I mean, look at Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is legit the most successful Belichick disciple, and he was terrible in Denver. And the Raiders have gotten worse since last year. They're worse. I don't
think New England. I don't think New England networks, as funny as that sounds, like, I think they're so insular and they have their system. I mean, even if I look at we're trying to keep it tight here, but, like, I just ask people, go back and look at Joe Judge, look at Matt Patricia, look at the people they brought with them on that staff,
Romeo Crennel,
and
Charlie Weiss.
And look at the people they brought with them when they went and built the team, because that's the number one thing that's going to happen, right? Dan Campbell, we saw, he built the Lions. He went out and called all the guys that he knew. He knew a lot of guys. Whether they're good coaches or not, time will tell. When coaches get jobs, they call guys they know that are looking for the next job, and they bring them on.
Well,
if he's bringing on shitty people, to me that says he can't get good guys, right? Like I look at it like this. We'll talk about a team right now. You talked about the Giants. Brandon Beane is it Brandon? No, not Brandon Beane. Joe Schoen goes to New York. Instantly, he brings Brian Dable. Instantly, they bring Ken Dorsey.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how it goes, right?
For sure.
Eberflus came to the Colts. He brought Alan Page. For Brian Flores to leave New England and go to Miami and bring whoever the hell, Chad O'Shea, and then go get Chan Gailey, and then, these other two guys that he had it just says to me he doesn't know anybody. And he wasn't going to be able to bring Josh McDaniel because Josh McDaniel isn't leaving.
No.
So he doesn't know anybody. And I think that's the New England problem.
I think that's probably part of it. I think another thing too, because you see it a lot in college too, where you'll have there's a couple different types of coaches, right? There's the dictator Nazi, type, and then there's the guy that is, okay, you're going to do your job. I'm going to do my job over here in the corner. My job is not your job. You have your job. I'm going to go over here.
CEO
right?
type of guy.
Kind of see that exactly. And Nick's, we'll use college as an example because that's what I'm more familiar with. You see guys in college like Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the CEO, right? He puts a lot of faith in guys like Bill O'Brien, Sarkisian, and whoever he has there. That's what he does too. Is he'll get guys that couldn't hack it as a head coach, but that guy calls a mean goddamn play. Let's give him it off square. And he does his thing, right? He recruits or whatever his main focus is, and he comes in when they need him. Then you have guys like Jim Tressel. Jim Tressel, he had full control over everything to the point where every time someone from his staff got promoted or left, they were garbage. If you look at all the guys that left under Jim Tressel, they were all terrible. Terrible. I can't name one person that was a winner.
I think Belichick runs things a lot like that. I'd agree with that.
For sure. And another thing too is when you're looking at a guy like Bill Belichick, who's the GM and the head coach, you think that, I can do that. I can do that. I've been under him for 10 years. I can do that. No, not everybody can do that. It's kind of like Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was people shit on the tenure Chip Kelly had in the NFL. Chip Kelly was not that bad as an NFL head coach. He was pretty solid. When he was just the head coach, he had them in the playoffs. It's when he wanted to be all GM and everything went to his head.
And he started moving the players. Yeah.
Exactly. That's when you got to know your role. You got to know your strengths, your weaknesses, and roll with it. It's when people start diddling, daddling out of their control. That's when shit gets hard.
Yeah, they want the power.
And I think if you're a guy like Bill Belichick, you just think that everything is okie dokie, and those guys get out of their umbrella. They can't hack it. I think that's part of it.
I don't think you're wrong. I just think too it's really clear to me sometimes these guys don't have anybody they can bring with them, right? Like
it doesn't help. You're right. The relationships are key, right?
Because think about it, right? I'm Brian Flores. I was the co-defensive coordinator here. I go get the head coaching job. I'm going to look at Josh McDaniel and say, "Hey, you want to come work for me?" He's going to say, "Fuck no." You know what I mean? And not even because you're not a good guy, but because he wants a head coaching job, right? Why would I?
A safe umbrella too.
Yeah, I've got my thing here, right? You're gonna go out there and you're gonna get fired. I'm gonna stay here.
Just like all the rest, just like our boy Matt Patricia came crawling back.
Yeah, Josh is like, "Oh, I remember the first time I tried to be a head coach."
Yeah, dude.
See you in a year. Yeah. See you in a couple years, B-Flow. Shout out to all these guys. Again, longtime listeners of the pod. Feel free to come on anytime. Friends of the show, Brian Flores. All right, man. We're in the 45-minute mark. I want to try to keep this to an hour as much as we can. I think that was a really good conversation. I know we kind of rehashed some stuff on B-Flow that I'm sure people forgot about. And that's okay because it's better in my mind than going over games that everybody watched and telling them what they saw. So
it is interesting too because everybody always talks about like when you talk about Brian Flores, everybody focuses on the race part, and it's like, well, no, there were a lot of layers that everybody just kind of skids over
yeah,
that he was
I agree.
bitched about. You know what I mean? It wasn't just that; it was
Yeah.
there were other things that no one seems to talk about when they talk about that situation.
I agree, and I do think there's that underlying pressure for coaches of color because there are so few. I'm sure they feel like they're in the spotlight. I saw there's already an article being written about Steve Wilkes and blah blah blah. But I get that, and I hope that one day that changes, and we start to see more coaches of color, and it doesn't become as pressing. I think the NBA is a good example where you hear so much less about this because they have more diversity within the coaching ranks. So race matters, but to your point, it's not the only thing that matters. And it's already hard enough to be an NFL head coach. You're on a short leash. And if you've got something over your head feeling like, hey, I'm also going to continue this narrative that black coaches can't win, hey, maybe that contributes to it. But let's get into week 6 here and let's run through some games. We're going to come with our 4 locks. We were supposed to coordinate these before the show. I think we only got one of those, so we will figure out our locks here on the
See, I
fly.
like it. A little bit of an argument.
Yeah.
So
Josh,
how do you want to do this? You want to go through every game real quick and see which ones we match with?
yeah.
Kind of
Let's do that, and then you can tell me spreads, and we'll go from there. So,
I'm all written down.
all right. 49ers, Falcons. I'm taking the Niners.
I'm taking the Niners as well. The spread is 5.5, and I like the Niners with the spread.
I do too. Let's put.
I haven't put money on this game yet.
I'm in Maryland and
We'll
cannot
put
bet
them
on games, but let's put the Niners in the maybe at minus
Well, anything's possible.
at minus
with
5.
strong faith in the team. Right.
All right.
5.5. 5.5.
5.5.
You know how many games I lose off the hook, dude?
Hook. I know.
I lose so many games off that fucking 0.5, dude. It sucks, man. That's why I start trying to bet as early in the week as possible.
That's why it's there. All right, Patriots, Browns. I'm going Browns.
I got Patriots. It's the spread is the Patriots are getting 2.5. So let's go ahead and cross that one off our list.
All right. So you're taking New England. I'm taking Cleveland.
So we don't agree on that one.
And we'll track our win-loss too. All right, Jets, Packers. I think we're both taking Packers here.
Yeah, even with the spread as high as 7.5, I think that Aaron Rodgers is bound to bounce back. There's no way the Packers look like this big of a pile of shit multiple weeks in a row. And the Jets look great, but I mean, is it sustainable? Especially, you know what I mean? Like at some point there's gotta be a bounce back game, which is very cliche, but I like it a lot. I actually put money on this game already.
I love it. Jaguars, Colts. Shit, this is a dumpster game. Who's the Colts quarterback? Matt Ryan. And Trevor Lawrence. Anybody injured in these games that would make a difference?
I don't know what Jonathan Taylor's status is. I have no idea.
Fuck it. Give me the Jags, dude.
Okay, so we do not agree on that one. I have not put money on this game yet, but I lean the Colts. The Colts are given 1.5. They're favored by 1.5. That's kind of where I lean. I thought the Colts.
Oh, definitely give me the Jags. Jags are a lock there.
The whole 1.5. Of course, I make fun, but the Monday night game that would have. I would have won it for.
Vikings, Dolphins. Dolphins at home, but no quarterback. Right? Give me the Vikings.
Skylar Thompson has already been announced as the starter, but the Dolphins are getting 3.5 points. We don't agree on that one either. I like the Dolphins. I didn't put money on it, but I definitely like the Dolphins there. If you can get a home dog in the NFL, especially in a place where there's probably going to be a vast weather difference between what they're used to in Minnesota and Florida.
We might have to run different locks here, Playboy. I don't know that we're gonna. All right, we'll keep going.
We already got 2, so we're good so far.
What was our other lock? Packers. Oh, Packers, Niners. Okay.
We both like the Niners too.
All right, Bengals, Saints. Yeah. Oh, fuck, this is another garbage game. Are the Bengals ever gonna do something other than try to throw it deep all the time?
Did you see the press conference where the guy coughed to Joe Burrow and everybody's making fun like he's got sack PTSD?
No, what happened?
Some dude coughed and Joe Burrow was like he just looked scared.
Joe. Fuck. Saints, who's their quarterback?
Andy Dalton, baby. the red rifle.
Oh, Andy Dalton revenge game. Give me that. Saints.
Shut the hell up. No, we don't agree on that one either. The spread, the Bengals are favored by 2.5. But you know what? I'm probably in the minority there because Andy Dalton looked good last week, but I still like the Bengals.
All right. Ravens, Giants. Is Daniel Jones going to play?
Yeah, I think so.
Playing.
I haven't heard any news that he wasn't.
He's playing. Ravens. Is Rashad Bateman still out?
I believe so. I don't think he practiced today.
Is J.K. Dobbins back?
He is back.
All right, give me Ravens.
Okay, let's write that one down. The Ravens are favored by 5.5, though. Do you still like it? Because I still do.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Well, I'll put them in the maybe, and we'll see what else we agree on. But we might not have a choice.
I just figure it's kind of like the Jets thing. The Giants' luck is bound to run out. The Ravens are a very good team. J.K. Dobbins is getting healthier and healthier. I think he's gotten more touches every game since he's come back. And Lamar Jackson is kind of due for a big pop. So,
yeah. Ravens got to figure their shit out.
They don't. They're very inconsistent.
Bucs, Steelers.
Sure. Did you see the interview with Justin Tucker after the game though? When he had that game winner?
I thought it was great.
Dude, you would have thought that he was the MVP of the league, dude. He was just like, we played a great game out there. I want to give some thanks to Lamar Jackson. He played a great game. I was like, bro, who do you think you are, man? You played 3 snaps.
See, I didn't hear that part, but to me, he sounded like a football player when they were asking about the kick, and he's like, I get to my spot, I do this, I do that. To me, it sounded very much like football. I mean, I don't know how you played running back, but I very much played defensive end. Like, all right, I'm looking at their stance, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that, I'm looking at my key.
Dude, I loved it. Like, I definitely loved it. It just cracked me up because it's like, bro,
he is the star of that team. I mean, let's be honest. They're so inconsistent. The only guy that consistently can fucking put points on the board for that team is Justin Tucker. So,
I love when after he kicks it too, where he just like
celebrates.
He doesn't look at the ball, dude. He's just done. Yeah, he's like as soon as it gets off his foot, he's like, it's in. I don't give a shit.
Biggest dick in that locker room, Justin Tucker.
No shit, dude. It's got to be huge.
Every time he hits a 60-yarder, it just grows in length. So the legend says.
Dude. That's 60-yard dick.
All right, Bucs, Steelers at home, 1-4. Shit, I don't know what they're doing. Bucs are 3-2. They're also kind of banged up. Who do you got there?
Dude, I got the Buccaneers. I haven't put money on it. The Buccaneers are favored by 7.5, so it's a little high. I got to think about it. But I definitely like the Buccaneers. If I gun to my head, Buccaneers.
All right, Panthers, Rams.
Well, who do you take? You didn't.
I'd probably take that.
So the Buccaneers
7.5. I feel like you gotta lean Bucs, but I don't want to lock that. But I'll take Bucs. I mean Pittsburgh. Okay. Mike. It's funny. Dan Campbell.
The spread was huge last week. The spread was huge. The Steelers. The Bills were favored by 14.5 against the Steelers last week, and everybody thought, "Wow, that's huge. That's a huge spread and unheard of in the NFL." And the Steelers suck, bro.
Sorry. I'm typing something. But here's my biggest thing about Pittsburgh, and this was the Dan Campbell line where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to drag teams out to deep water." There's something for me about Pittsburgh that's like, excuse me, I don't think they're going to win at a 7.5 point spread, but I do think they'll drag the Bucs to deep water and somehow fucking end up winning that game, or not winning, losing that game by like a field goal. Like I always have that fear with Pittsburgh, so I don't want to lock it, but I like the Bucs there, but I don't know that I want to lock that one yet.
That's why I haven't put money on it. Everything you're saying is 100% accurate. The Steelers. First of all, Mike Tomlin's a great coach. Second of all, Kenny Pickett's not bad. He hasn't played bad. Okay, George Pickens is a freak, and Cam Hayward and that defensive line is still very, very good despite T.J. Watt being hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. And Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they don't look like they have a plan. They look awkward. He's finally showing some age. It's not ideal. But I think we both lean the Buccaneers, which makes sense.
All right. So that's still on the maybe pile with the Ravens.
For
Panthers, Rams. What are we getting there on the spread? Rams are at home.
The Rams are favored by 10.5. I already put money on the Rams.
Give me the Rams. Yeah, give me the Rams. 10.5. Yeah, give me the Rams.
But I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be.
We don't know who the Rams quarterback's going to be.
The Panthers quarterback going to be. I don't know who their Panthers. I don't know.
PJ Walker. Yeah, PJ Walker.
MVPJ.
Yeah.
I got that shirt.
All right. So what are our locks right now? 49ers.
So we have 5 games we agree on. We have the Packers, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Buccaneers, and the Rams. But we have like 5 games we haven't gone over yet.
Yeah, we're still rolling. We're still rolling here. All right. Cardinals Seahawks.
I got Cardinals. Given 2.5. I would put money on it, but again, that seems like the good lean.
Cardinals are dogs here?
No, the Cardinals they're favored by 2.5.
Give me Seahawks there.
I don't really have a good argument for the Cardinals. So I'll go ahead and cross that up. So I can't defend my stance on there.
I wish I knew how to make graphics because I'm going to tweet out like our picks, but it's honestly just going to be like a fucking Word doc. And I might actually just scribble it on a piece of paper and take a picture. But all right, give me the Hawks there. So we'll disagree. Chiefs Bills is probably going to be the game of the night, even though it's coming on at 4:25. What are we getting here?
Dude, the Bills are favored by 2.5. I already put money on them.
Give me the Chiefs.
What? Wow, I am shocked by that. Dude, the Bills look like me on Madden, bro. Well, me on Rookie and Madden.
Chiefs at home. Chiefs at home.
Dude.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
We disagree on that one. I'm kind of shocked by that.
Cowboys eat.
I locked that in. I locked that in before it hits 3 points. That spread's going to hit 3 points, and I want to make sure that I can win with less than a field goal.
Chiefs are what, plus 2.5?
Yeah.
And what did I take the Hawks at? Plus 2.5?
Yep.
All right. And then what did I take the Saints at? Plus what?
2.5.
Yeah, see the trend. And then what did I take the Jags at?
1.5.
All right.
That 2.5 is key. 2.5 is very important.
Get under the hook.
You know how many?
Or you're going to push it if you get a 3. All right. So Cowboys, Eagles 5-0. Can they make it 6-0? This is probably going to be a good game too.
Yeah.
So what's the spread here?
Eagles are favored by 6.5. I like the Eagles. Have not put money on them. I know it's a big spread. It is a big spread, especially with Cooper Rush playing the way he is. But the Eagles look great, dude. It's hard to find a flaw in their game.
Is Micah Parsons
no
out?
way. No, he's not out.
I thought he was hurt.
I don't think he's out though.
What's the injury report? Cowboys injury report.
I think Dalton Schultz played too.
No question, Micah plans to play on Sunday. All right, well, fuck that.
All right, we disagree on that one. That's fair. I just feel like what Cooper.
I mean, I like the Eagles. I can't. I want the Eagles to win on the money line. I can't take.
I don't think that pays. I don't think that pays shit though.
No. I know you're not a money line bettor like me.
I mean, you can't. No, I am. If the spread is like less than like 3 points, typically you can bet the money line and it won't matter. But yeah, so this is at what's it at?
You said 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that. I mean, look, I'll take the Eagles, but in terms of locking it, I'm not down for that.
So it's actually the I don't think is the money line really that bad? Oh no, it isn't.
What are the Eagles on the money line? Like -110?
So to put that in perspective, the money line for the Eagles game, you have to put down $260 to $100.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are very much going to win this game by 6.5. I don't know. Again, I mean, how many games in the NFL are decided by 3 or more points, right? So it's like, and this is the NFC East. Goofy shit always happens. Eagles are 5-0. Dallas is going to come in there with some of the. It feels like a perfect trap game as much as it feels like a. Eagles just get out by like the skin on their teeth. So. Nah,
I don't think you're wrong. That's why I haven't bet on it yet.
I wouldn't. I would stay away. That just to me feels too rich. Especially with that money line. Like that money line feels about right, but in terms of what you're getting risk reward, but again, too rich. Monday night game, Broncos Chargers. Chargers at home.
Chargers are favored by 5.5. I lean Chargers. The Broncos are pretty bad, dude. But I haven't put money on it because you never know when Russell will decide to cook. And it's not like the Chargers have been the most pristine. I mean, they beat the Browns, but that was not the most well-coached game. Going for it on fourth down and not going for it. They have a weird identity as well.
Austin Eckler's back, right?
He played last week. I think he was the second leading rusher last week.
All right, and then we got Bears Commanders, right? Thursday night tomorrow. That's a pick 'em last time I saw.
Who are you taking for the Broncos and Chargers?
I'll go Chargers there.
Okay, so we'll put down agree. Yeah, so the last game is the it doesn't.
PK,
when I
right?
saw it, it was the Commanders were, huh?
It was a PK or Commanders got the points?
The last time I saw it, the Commanders were getting a half a point, but I mean that's basically a pick 'em, right?
Give me the Bears.
Really? We disagree on that one too. I think that the Commanders have a lot of talent. If Carson Wentz could just be more consistent.
Carson Wentz fucking blows. Again, if he plays a good game,
definitely not playing great.
It'll be tough. Let me run through this. I just threw a line down the piece of paper. Should I put your name first or my name first? I'll put
I don't care.
I'll put yours first because that's the gentlemanly thing to do. All right, so I'm taking Bears. Taking Bears. You're taking Commanders. The artist formerly known as the Redskins. We're taking 49ers.
Is that our lot? So we agreed on 6 games.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to run through. 49ers, I'm taking New England, Cleveland. What did we decide there?
Well, we disagreed on that one.
I took Browns, right?
Yeah, because I took New England.
All right. You're taking Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Jets, Packers. We both agreed Packers, right?
Yes, we did.
All right. And Packers are what? -7.5?
Yes, sir.
And what were the 49ers? -5.5?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jags, Colts. I think we split that. I took Jags.
That's correct. I took the Colts.
If
they win me money 2 weeks in a row, baby.
And I'm taking the Colts plus 1.5. And then what am I getting on the Browns?
The Browns are favored. It's in Cleveland. So the Browns are favored by 2.5.
All right.
I like how you started the sentence with "What am I getting though?" Because that's always the sign of someone who's confident in the bet. It's when they think that they're getting points.
Oh yeah. I thought I was picking dogs. I thought the Browns were a dog there. I guess not.
That's a good sign for your pick.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. Well, they shouldn't be dogs, but goddamn Stefanski, man.
I know.
Too many syllables, dude. All right, Vikes, Dolphins. I think we were split here.
Yes, we were, because I took Dolphins, you took Vikings.
All right. And then who's the dog?
The Dolphins are the dog. They are getting 3.5. Home dog in the NFL.
And you're liking that.
I think they're the only ones, aren't they? No, the Saints are the home dog too. Oh, and the Giants are home dog. And the Falcons and the Steelers. There's a few.
We're gonna keep it rolling. Bengals Saints. I took Saints plus 2.5.
I took Bengals, so yeah, we're off there.
All right. Giants, Ravens. I think we took Ravens, right?
We both took the Ravens. Yeah, that's one game we agreed on.
And the Ravens are getting -5.5.
Yeah, they're favored by 5.5.
Bucks, Steelers. I think we took Bucks here, but I don't know that we wanted to lock it.
Yes, we did. We agreed at 7.5. You don't want to lock that one? I'm cool with that because we need to eliminate anyways. We got 6 games. That's a big ass spread.
I like the Rams better. I like the Rams better for a lock.
Yeah, me too. So we'll cross off the Buccaneers game.
Yeah.
So we need to cross off one more game.
I'm still writing these down. All right, Buccaneers, Rams, Panthers. We like Rams.
Yes, sir.
And then what are the points?
The Rams are favored by 10.5.
Yeah, I like that. Cardinals, Seahawks. I took Seahawks.
I took Cardinals.
Plus 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Cards. Chiefs, Bills. Give me the Chiefs. Plus 2.5.
I'm so shocked you're taking the Chiefs on that one. I thought for sure we were going to agree on that one. I don't know why.
And then Eagles. I think Eagles are another one that just kind of stay away, right? Like we want to.
Well, you took the Cowboys.
No.
Yes, you did. You said Cowboys because you said the spread was too high. You would take the Cowboys 6.5 because you Googled it.
No. I was saying I think the money line makes sense. I like the money line for the Eagles, but I think the Eagles would win. I just wouldn't bet 6.5 because it's going to be probably closer than that.
Oh, well, that's okay because, like I said, we still got 5 games to agree on, anyways.
All right, so right now I'm seeing our locks as 49ers, Packers, Ravens, Rams. So technically we don't need to do Chargers, but do we want to throw that one out there? I don't know that I like Chargers minus 5.5, to be honest with you.
Let's cross that out. I agree with you. I think that one's probably the weak link of the 4.
All right. And then the Eagles minus 6.5. I'm gonna write like stay away on this fucking paper. What are the
we've got to narrow down. Our 4 games are the Packers given 7.5, the Ravens given 5.5, the 49ers given 5.5, and the Rams given 10.5. That is not a good sign that we only picked favorites, but I think it could work out in our favor. Those seem like safe bets, dude.
Of course, dude. That's how we're not here. We're not in the business of taking risk, I'm
Too
not.
bad Austin's not here. He hates risk.
That's right. All right, and I'm highlighting the dogs here. So I took more dogs. You took Pats, Dolphins as your dogs this week. I took Yeah, that's it. You took a lot of favorites. You took a lot of chalk, and I took Jags, Saints, Seahawks, Chiefs.
I'm gonna have another bad week. I can tell already.
We're gonna see, brother. Oh yeah, and I got the Bears. Aren't the Bears technically a dog? What's that spread?
No, the Bears are favored.
Bears are favored now?
Yeah, because the Bears are favored by 0.5 point. It probably depends on where you're looking to. I'm looking at the official odds provider of USA Today Sports, Typico.
Nice shout out there.
Yeah.
So Bears minus 0.5. Are you kidding me?
Swear.
I'll give you another dog in the Commanders.
Counts. That counts.
So you got 3 dogs. And we got to get Austin back in the fold. This guy's always working or at kickball or doing something. He's out here being a productive adult, getting cash.
He thinks he's so cool because he's single, banging chicks in Colorado.
He's getting guys to the NFL. So we'll cut him a break. We talk about it. He's putting guys in the league.
That's true.
So Austin, we miss you, buddy. Can't wait to have you back. We're right at an hour. So I told Ronnie we'd keep this one shorter. So we've cut last week's in half. Josh, any parting words here as we go out?
No, man, I'm a little upset we didn't go over my college bets since I've been killing it. Of course, I think I'm losing. I'm losing right now because I took Louisiana Lafayette. I believe they're getting their ass kicked. But yeah, you can follow my work. I work for at Buckeyes Wire. You can follow me on Twitter at Josh Keeley16, and I'll be here next week.
You can find me at Bears Wire at Nate_Atkins3. And Josh, take us out. Throw the people an upset to look for this week in college football if they're going to throw a couple bets out there.
Oh, dude. Okay. Well, it's not really an upset, but my favorite game is definitely Florida giving 2.5. Let me see if I got an upset in my card. I took Florida. Oh, Georgia Southern, dude. I like Georgia Southern getting 10.5 from James Madison. James Madison is the last undefeated team against the spread, bro.
Sunbelt.
And Georgia Southern's a solid team. We saw them beat Nebraska, Clay Helton's got something cooking down there, so that's definitely one. Oh, another one is Connecticut, bro. Jim Moore at Connecticut. Connecticut's getting 9.5 from Ball State. That's one I've already locked in. That's a key one too because it's going to go up to 10. Those are my two favorite dogs for this weekend.
I like it. Let me put this on the paper too because I'm going to tweet this paper out. So college picks. College picks. All right, you got Connecticut.
Yeah, dude, getting 10.5. Right?
UConn.
No, I got UConn at 9.5, dude.
Plus 9.5.
Yeah, I didn't get it at 10. I missed it.
Whew. And then who was the other one?
I got Georgia Southern at 11.5, though. I took Florida giving 2.5, and then I took Texas giving 16.5. That's probably my scariest bet.
Yeah, I want the dogs here.
On all those games?
No.
Oh,
I'm saying just your picks on the way out.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're going to go against me on this. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Nah, man. No, I'm not. No.
You didn't even give a reason.
No, I don't watch the college game that much anymore now that I'm off the Notre Dame beat.
Whoa.
I watch a few. I'll tell you who I like. I like Kansas. I like that game they played. I like the game they played, and
the quarterback's done so though. That's the part that sucks.
He said he's not. We're about to run over. He came back on Twitter and said he's not. We will. We'll come back to this next week. I mean, as much as we're talking, we might have to do this twice a week. God, I don't know that my schedule could allow that. But hey, look, for Josh, I'm Nate. This was Around the Gridiron. We're having a great time. We'll come back to you guys next week and see how these bets planned out, and we'll talk some more stuff about people in the NFL. Take it easy, guys.
Clicking the button now.